right. So this is Jane Wright to discuss today another autonomic dysfunction. This is a 4-part one that it's very frequent in our culture. Why, I'm not so sure. It generates the blood pressure to go up. It generates a vascular contraction that is very significant. The other thing that how it tells you about itself is that the eyes and the top of the head hurt. It's not the worst pain in the world. Certainly not the worst headache in the world. But it's pretty nasty, especially day by day by day. And so all these things are a little bit easier to notice, to recognize, oh, shoot, my eyes hurt. Let me do this autonomic dysfunction. Let me treat myself. And it's a 4-part condition. Usually there's a connection between the overall etheric. There's a situation where you can get karmic fracturing, which is a kind of spontaneous fracturing in the etheric body. And with this condition, it often is present that you have an area in the etheric body that has a good-sized region of karmic fracturing. So, the valves and sphincters are spasming. Your eyes hurt. The top of your head hurt. I'm just describing here, before we get started with the treatment, to show where the valves and sphincters in the digestive tract are. As you can see here, of course, the epiglottis. Here's the cardiac sphincter, which is the upper pole of the stomach. When that misfires, we often get like what's called GERD or reflux. Things get back up into the esophagus that shouldn't get there. The other end of the stomach is the pyloric sphincter. Then goes down to the duodenum. This whole area in the middle isn't being depicted. It's a small intestine, which doesn't have those sphincters in it. And then we have the ascending colon, which is the ileocecal valve here. The ileocecal valve is really difficult because it brings toxicity in direct communication with the blood. The blood of the small intestine is meant to be a delivery service for the brain to get its good food, and if that delivery service is including toxic materials that should be in the large bowel and scooting out, then you can generate a good-sized headache. So there's the ascending colon. Now in the transverse colon, there's 2 sphincters. And then going down the left-hand side is called the valves of Houston. There's 4 of these. They can each be treated. But right now we're treating all of them together. And there's another one down between the sigmoid colon and the rectum. So how does one treat if you have this thing on the top of your head hurting or your eyes hurting? There's 4 steps. First step is a little sphere in between the 2 eyebrows. You see my eyebrows? And you have to grasp it in between your thumb and your finger. And you're going to make a certain distinct movement. These are called inductions. And this movement is up to the left and down to the right. So if I'm doing it, I've got my hand imagining the whole body underneath this hand, and up to the left, down to the right, up, down, up, down. See, it's not straight up. I'm at a diagonal. Do that 15 times, and then hold for 45 seconds. It doesn't matter which order you do these in, by the way. So the second one I'm going to show you is a sphere that is depicted by the open mouth. So if I put my fingers around the edge of my lips with my mouth slightly open and put my other hand over my body, imagine the whole body underneath it. The induction in this case is I'm going to draw a line straight up to in between the front of my forehead. So you won't notice that. It's my intention, but I'm going to slightly turn sideways like this and see how I'm making this very subtle little movement. If I could stop talking. 15 times, and then hold for 45 seconds. Don't let go. You have to do all 4 of these with this condition. The third one, and again, it doesn't matter which order, is a sphere that's all on the manubrium, which is the upper part of the breastbone. So you have the collarbones, then this little dent in between them, and you go straight down, you're on the manubrium. And the speed bump, or the angle of Louis, depicts where the manubrium ends. So here's my speed bump. I'm all up above that. So I've got this little sphere on my manubrium. And this, is a little bit odd in that you're going to have the intention of shooting the induction straight forward, but you're not going to lift your hand off the body. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 15, and then hold for 45 seconds. In other words, a lot of it is about intention, but you are actually just shooting the whatever is present on this manubrium forward of your body, anterior. So that's the third step. The fourth is a sphere that is straddling the navel, and it's pretty straightforward. Your other hand on the whole body, and in this case the induction is drawing a straight line down to the pubic bone. So again, you're not really going anywhere, but you are, through intention and just moving within that range that the skin can be moved. And usually by doing the 4th time, you can even start to feel a lightening of the eye and headache on the top of the head phenomena. More often than not, people get at least a 20-point drop in the blood pressure is systolic over diastolic, so that you can get at least 20 points, sometimes 40, a drop in that. So, yeah, having this over a long period of time is certainly no picnic. It makes your head feel foreign, a slight pain all the time. Okay.